Christopher Wiley, the former UK-based Cambridge Analytica employee turned whistleblower, says that the core of the company's activities was the access Facebook provided.
So we went from no data to harvesting all of this data off of Facebook and then combining it with all this the consumer data sets and voter data sets. So we had sort of a Steve Bannon and a billionaire breathing down our necks trying to go, where's the data, where's the algorithms, where's our information weapons, and that's where Kogan came along. Alexander Kogan, the professor at Cambridge.
Alexander Kogan is the Cambridge University researcher who in 2014 developed an app, a Facebook personality test called...
So anyways, CNN is introducing the Zuckerberg exclusive interview right now with their fake news, propaganda, and spin. So we're waiting for them to actually air the actual interview with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg has a history of squirming and sweating and just being a nasty little cuck whenever somebody asks him tough questions, because unlike maybe Donald Trump, when he's put under pressure by interviewers, he just calls them fake news to their face and tells them to go fuck off. Mark Zuckerberg, on the other hand, he likes to pander, through corporate liberalism, because Mark Zuckerberg likes to chase every last little fucking penny, even if it means selling his fucking soul. So right now we are waiting for CNN's exclusive interview with Mark Zuckerberg, and we're gonna see just how much of a little weasel rat he is. We're also going to find out if this interview is basically just staged propaganda damage control for CNN and for...
This evening with CNN's Laura Siegel.
Here we go.
I want to start with just a basic question, Mark. What happened? What went wrong?
So this was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry that this happened. We have a basic responsibility to protect people's data, and if we can't do that, then we don't deserve to have the opportunity to serve people. So our responsibility now is to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And there are a few basic things that I think we need to do to ensure that. One is making sure that developers like Alexander Kogan, who got access to a lot of information and then improperly used it, just don't get access to as much information going forward. So we are doing a set of things to restrict the amount of access that developers can get going forward. But the other is we need to make sure that there aren't any other Cambridge Analyticas out there, right, or folks who have improperly accessed data. So we're going to go now and investigate every app.
Is it just me, or does Mark Zuckerberg does it look like he's on some type of downer or some type of suppressant medication that calms your nerves? It kind of looks like he might be on Valium or some type of medication that calms you down when you're under pressure. He has this kind of glazed over look, but then again, he always has a glazed over look in his eyes.
Every app that has access to a large amount of information from before we lock down our platform. And if we detect any suspicious activity, we're going to do a full forensic audit.
Facebook has asked us to share our data, to share our lives on this platform, and has wanted us to be transparent. And people don't feel like they've received that same amount of transparency. They're wondering what's happening to their data. Can they trust Facebook?
Yeah, so one of the most important things that I think we need to do here is make sure that we tell everyone whose data was affected by one of these rogue apps, right? And we're going to do that. We're going to build a tool.
Honestly, guys, this shit sounds like a scripted softball interview. To be honest with you, that's what this sounds like. It sounds like they had a pre-set of maybe 7 questions. Zuckerberg probably already knew those fucking questions, and he's just going to sit here and give easy, predictable answers. We're going to see if this reporter for CNN actually puts Zuckerberg on the hot spot. We're going to find out.
Where anyone can go and see if their data was a part of this. But
so the 50 million people that were impacted, they will be able to tell if they were impacted by this.
Yeah, we're going to be even conservative on that. So, we may not have all the data in our system today. So anyone whose data might have been affected by this, we're gonna make sure that we tell. And going forward, when we identify apps that are similarly doing sketchy things, we're going to make sure that we tell people then too. Right? That's definitely something that, looking back on this, I regret that we didn't do at the time. And I think we got that wrong, and we're committed to getting that right going forward.
I want to ask you about that, because when this came to light, you guys knew this a long time ago that this data was out there. Why didn't you tell users? Don't you think users have the right to know that their data is being used for different purposes?
So yes, and let me tell you what actions we took. So in 2015, some journalists from The Guardian told us that they had seen or had some evidence that data that this app developer, Alexander Kogan, who built this personality quiz app, and a bunch of people used it and shared data with it, had sold that data to Cambridge Analytica and a few other firms. And when we heard that, and that's against the policies, right? I mean, you can't share data in a way that people don't know or don't consent to. We immediately banned Kogan's app, and further, we made it so that Kogan and Cambridge Analytica and the other folks with whom we shared the data, we asked for a formal certification that they had none of the data from anyone in the Facebook community, that they deleted it if they had it, and that they weren't using it. And they all provided that certification. So as far as we understood around the time of that episode, there was no data out there.
So why didn't Facebook follow up? You say you certified it. I think, why wasn't there more of a follow-up? Why wasn't there an audit then? Why does it take a big media report to get that proactive approach?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm used to when people legally certify that they're going to do something, that they do it. But I think that this was clearly a mistake in retrospect.
Was it putting too much trust in developers?
I think it did. And that's why, we need to...
Okay. Okay. So real fucking quick, guys. 2 reasons why this interview so far is total softball bullshit. Number 1, the order in which the CNN interviewer, is giving questions is very similar to a list of bullet points that Facebook released earlier this afternoon, a few hours ago. Facebook released a series of bullet points on their official website. Facebook released a series of bullet points going over exactly what happened and what they're going to do about it. And so far, from my recollection, this CNN interview lady is kind of going through her questions in the same exact order as the official Facebook press release that was put out just a few hours ago. So this seems a little coordinated, this seems a little softballish, this seems a little preset in advance. That's what it feels like to me. But the second reason, let's keep watching, give it the benefit of the doubt just to see what ends up happening here. Let's watch.
Make sure that we don't make that mistake ever again, which is why one of the things that I announced today is that we're going to do a full investigation into every app that had access to a large amount of data from around this time before we locked down the platform. And we're now not just going to take people's word for it and when they give us a legal certification, but if we see anything suspicious, which I think that there probably were signs in this case that we could have looked into, we're going to do a full forensic audit.
How do you know there aren't hundreds more companies like Cambridge Analytica that...
Okay. Yeah, not looking like the most intense and die-hard, hard pitching interview that I've ever seen. But here's the second reason. All this fluffy crap about what did Facebook do and did Facebook, know whether or not Cambridge Analytica was using people's data, or did they know, or maybe they should have been more vigilant. All of this bullshit is irrelevant, because the truth is, and it's been known forever, that Facebook is in the business of selling your fucking data. It's what they do. It's how they make their money. It's a big chunk of their freaking business operations. So if she doesn't go into the underlying fundamental fact that Facebook is in the business of selling people's data, then this is a softball, bullshit, pre-scripted, planned in advance, Facebook approved PR release. That's all this is. This is not tough questions. This is not getting to the bottom of things. This is what I was a little bit concerned about earlier. It's what Facebook has been doing forever. And Obama, the Obama campaign back in 2012 did the same shit that Cambridge Analytica did. They took in-depth information about people's background lives from Facebook. They took that information, they took that data, and they used it to help get Barack Obama the victory. This is not breaking fucking news, but they love to act like it's breaking fucking news because it got Trump elected because Hillary is too much of a fucking dinosaur to use fucking Facebook. So, we'll see. We'll see if this is a softball interview or not. Let's keep watching.
Are also keeping data that violates Facebook's policies.
Well, I think the question here is, are app developers who people have given access to their data, are they doing something that people don't want? Are they selling the data in a way that people don't want? Are they giving it to someone that they don't have authorization to do? And this is something that I think we now need to go figure out, right? So for all these apps...
That's got to be I gotta say, that's gonna be a really challenging ordeal. How do you actually go do that? Because you talk about it being years ago, and then you guys have made it a bit stricter for that kind of information to be shared. But backtracking on it, it's got to be really difficult to find out where that data's gone and what other companies have shady access.
Yeah, I mean, so as you say, I mean, the good news here is that we already changed the platform policies in 2014. But before that, we know what the apps were that had access to data. We know how many people were using those services. And we can look at the pattern.
Hang on a second. Was that a jump cut edit I just saw? Hang on.
We already changed the platform policies in 2014. But before that...
We just had a jump cut. We just had a jump cut. This interview is edited, bitch. This interview is edited, bitch. What are they cutting out?
We know what the apps were that had access to data. We know how many people were using those services. And we can look at the patterns of their data requests. And based on that, we think we'll have a pretty clear sense of whether anyone was doing anything abnormal. And we'll be able to do a full audit of anyone who is questionable.
Do you have any scale or any scope of what you expect to find? Anything in the scope of what happened with Cambridge Analytica, where you had 50 million users?
Well, it's hard to know what we'll find, but we're going to review thousands of apps. So this is going to be an intensive process, but this is important. I mean, this is something that, in retrospect, we clearly should have done upfront with Cambridge Analytica. We should not have trusted the certification that they gave us, and we're not going to make that mistake again. I mean, this is our responsibility to our community, is to make sure that we secure the data that they're...
We're going to get to part 2 of Laurie Siegel's interview in just a second. Before we do, I want to bring in Laurie, also CNN senior media correspondent and host of CNN's Reliable Sources. Brian Stelter with us, as well as the New York Times' Matthew Rosenberg, who broke the story on Cambridge Analytica. Laurie, I mean, what's your sense of how seriously Mark Zuckerberg is taking this, how concerned he is about the fallout from Facebook, not just for its users, but also obviously its reputation in Washington and on Wall Street?
Anyways, we're going to fast forward through all this fake news spin. So far, this is a softball interview by a softball interviewer. So we're going to go ahead and skip this shit. Looks like we're stuck in the middle of a... We're stuck in the middle of a fake news commercial break. I apologize, but at least here on YouTube, I get to entertain you guys in the middle of the fake news commercial break. You know, where they try to sell you a bunch of pharmaceuticals, so you go on a mass shooting, like all these other crazy assholes, and then CNN has an excuse to push gun control. It's a perfect feedback loop. So wow, we got 369 people tuning in. That might be a record here on the Red Pill Philosophy live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're stuck here during a commercial damn break. Part 2 of the interview. So that suggests we're maybe halfway through the entire interview. And so far it seems like a total softball distraction. Sorry, I've been sick for the past few days. I had like a cough or some shit. Pretty bad, actually. So far, it seems like it's one hell of a softball bullshit interview. They're focusing on pointless irrelevancies. Talk about the fact that Facebook is fundamentally in the business of selling data. So again, guys, we're stuck here through, we're sitting here through a fake news. I mean, I haven't watched TV in so long. 95% of all ads are health ads. I mean, 95% of all ads on mainstream media is for like debilitating conditions that you need to treat. It's like most people who watch this stuff are like sick, ill people. I guess that makes sense. They want sick, ill, fake news propaganda, so they like watching sick, ill commercials to treat their conditions. Man, how many fucking commercials, bro? It's like the 9th commercial. No wonder TV's dying. Here on YouTube, at least here on YouTube, you know, if you have to sit through an ad, 9 times out of 10, you can skip it after 5 seconds. You gotta sit through like 10 minutes of commercials, man. Holy Jesus. Politically correct, nonsense, garbage commercials. Alright, I think we're back.
A million people's data was breached by Cambridge Analytica and what the company is doing to try to make it right. There's also the larger question about what this incident reveals about a company that, after all, is built on selling ads, albeit with permission, based on what people like, dislike, and share online. We'll talk more about that shortly. Here's part 2 of Laura Siegel's exclusive interview with Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
If you told me in 2004, when I was getting started with Facebook, that a big part of my responsibility today would be to help protect the integrity of elections against interference by other governments, I wouldn't have really believed that that was going to be something that I would have to work on 14 years later.
I'm going to challenge you.
But we're here now.
I'm going to challenge you.
And we're going to make sure that we do a good job.
Have you done a good enough job yet?
Well, I think we will see. But I think what's clear is that in 2016, we were not as on top of a number of issues as we should have, whether it was Russian interference or fake
Russian interference is fake news.
news.
Fake news is fake news, or at least the Orwellian term fake news concocted by the mainstream media, which mainstream media is a fake news. So fake news is fake news.
But what we have seen since then is, a number of months later, there was a major French election, and there we deployed some AI tools that did a much better job of identifying Russian bots and basically Russian potential interference and weeding that out of the platform ahead of the election. And we were much happier with how that went. In 2017, last year, during a special election in the Senate seat in Alabama, we deployed some new AI tools that we built to detect fake accounts that were trying to spread false news. We found a lot of different accounts coming from Macedonia. I think the reality here is that this isn't rocket science, right? I mean, there's a lot of hard work that we need to do to make it harder for nation states like Russia to do election interference, to make it so that trolls and other folks can't spread fake news. But we can get in front of this. And we have a responsibility to do this, not only for the 2018 midterms in the US, which are going to be a huge deal this year, and that's just a huge focus of us, but there's a big election in India this year, there's a big election in Brazil, there are big elections around the world, and you can bet that we are really committed to doing everything that we need to make sure that the integrity of those elections on Facebook is secured.
I can hear the commitment, but since I got you here, do you think that bad actors are using Facebook at this moment to meddle with the U.S. midterm elections?
I'm sure someone's trying, right? And I'm sure that there's, V2 of all version 2 of whatever the Russian effort was in 2016. I'm sure they're working on that.
I'm sorry, guys, but the whole world, outside of this cozy softball interview, the whole world is imploding right now for Facebook. Every fucking liberal on the planet right now is talking about hashtag delete Facebook. their Facebook stock plummeted by like, I don't even know how many billions of dollars over the last few days. Literally, the Facebook headquarters is on fire right now. And Mark Zuckerberg's calm, surprisingly calm. This is the dude who like literally like dehydrates from sweating when he's asked simple questions about privacy a few years ago. He seems almost too calm. So either this is a pre-scripted softball fake news interview and he knew it was going to be nice and easy, or he's in an extreme state of denial right now as Facebook headquarters burns to the ground. Now, do I actually think that this is the end of Facebook? I don't think so. But when your white supremacist liberal buddies are calling for delete Facebook everywhere from Stephen Colbert to co-founder of WhatsApp to countless other people, Jim Carrey, when all your little white supremacist liberal pals are saying it's time to get rid of Facebook, you know you're crapping your pants. So I don't know what is up right now with Zuckerberg's kind of calm, cool collectedness, but let's keep watching.
And there are going to be some new tactics that we need to make sure that we observe and get in front of.
Do you know speaking of getting in front of them, do you know what they are? Do you have any idea?
I mean, yes, and I think we have some sense of the different things that we need to get in front of.
Are you specifically seeing bad actors try to meddle with the U.S. election now?
I'm not 100% sure what that means, because I think it's not. I think that the candidates aren't.
Are you seeing anything new or interesting?
What we see are a lot of folks trying to sow division, right? So that was a major tactic.
So division, so discord. Once the Russia-Trump collusion thing started to fall apart, the new narrative, the new fake news narrative on how Trump got elected was the Russians were just trying to sow discord. They weren't really pro-Trump. They were just trying to sow discord throughout all the parties. Sow discord.
We saw Russia try to use in the 2016 election. Actually, most of what they did was not directly, as far as we can tell from the data that we've seen, was not directly about the election, but was more about just dividing people. And
just dividing people.
So they run a group on, for pro-immigration reform, and then they'd run another group against immigration reform.
Oh God, the Russians are so smart. They're dividing America. Oh.
And just try to pit people against each other.
Oh, poor Americans don't know how to fucking think for themselves. They're getting manipulated by Russian trolls on Facebook. We're so stupid.
And a lot of this was done with fake accounts that we can do a better job of tracing and using AI tools to be able to scan and observe a lot of what is going on. And I'm confident that we're going to do a much better job.
Lawmakers in the United States and the UK are asking you to testify. Everybody wants you to show up. Will you testify before Congress?
Can't show up to a congressional hearing and put my hand on a freaking Bible and swear I'm going to tell the truth when you're coked up on Valium, when you're coked up on drugs that calm your nerves down when you're really stressed out the way he probably is during this fucking interview.
So the short answer is I'm happy to if it's the right.
Before Congress?
So the short answer is I'm happy to if it's the right thing to do. Facebook
That's a big fat no.
testifies in Congress regularly on a number of topics, some high profile and some not. And
we're not talking about Facebook lawyers. We're talking about the face of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg.
Objective is always to provide Congress with this extremely important job to have the
Mark, we would love you, man. We would love you so much, Mark. If you just go read The Art of the Deal, man, by Donald Trump. Mark, go read The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. And go study how Donald Trump simultaneously ran his corporate empire and ran for president successfully at the exact same time. And how did Donald Trump do it? He was a no bullshit kind of guy, spoke his true opinions. You, Mark Zuckerberg, you take Valium, pills, this is what I'm going to assume here, before you do interviews so you can look like you're calm and relaxed when you're actually shitting your pants. Okay? Because, and the only reason you got to do that is because you're not speaking your true opinions. What you really want to say, Mark, is, wow, dumb fucking liberals. Hillary Clinton lost because she's a corrupt, dying corpse of a candidate, and Donald Trump is a bright orange glow of warm, energetic love. Okay, that's the reason Hillary Clinton lost. It wasn't Russians, it wasn't sowing discord, it wasn't Facebook ads, it wasn't Facebook's fault or Cambridge Analytica. It was because liberals, your time has come. And if you just said that, Mark, then you would learn something from Donald Trump's playbook and you wouldn't have to squirm around with your answers.
Just information that they can. Right? We see a small slice of activity on Facebook, but but Congress gets to have access to the information across Facebook and all other companies and the intelligence community and everything. So what we try to do is send to the person at Facebook who will have the most knowledge about what Congress is trying to learn. So if that's me, then I am happy to go. What I think we found so far is that typically there are people whose whole job is focused on an area. But
you mean fucking PR lawyers that you pay to shill on your behalf?
But I would imagine at some point that that there will be a topic where I am the sole authority on it and it will make sense for me to do it. And I'd be happy to do it at that point.
You are the brand of Facebook. You are the name of Facebook. People want to hear from you.
And that's why I'm doing this interview. But, I think that
He's afraid of testifying under oath. That's the problem. He'll do a softball interview with fake news CNN, but testifying under oath, I don't think you can take Valiums to calm your nerves when you're testifying under oath in front of Congress.
there's the question in a question of congressional testimony is what is the goal, right? And that's not a media opportunity, right? Or at least it's not supposed to be. The goal there, I think, is to get Congress all the information that they need to do their extremely important job. And we just want to make sure that we send whoever is best informed at doing that. I agree separately that that there's an element of accountability where I should be out there doing more interviews. And as uncomfortable as it is for me to do a TV interview, it's I feel this is an important thing that as a discipline for what we're doing, I should be out there and being asked hard questions by journalists.
Knowing what you know now, do you believe Facebook impacted the results of the 2016 election?
Oh, that is hard. I think that it's really hard for me to...
Weasel! Oh, don't you love it? Don't you love it when white liberalism just comes back and bites itself in the ass? Don't you absolutely love it? Do you think Facebook influenced the outcome of the election? Basically what she's asking is, do you think that Facebook helped the evil racist Nazi get elected in 2016? And the interesting thing is that no matter how he answers his question, he sounds like a dumbass, in the eyes of liberals. If he answers the question by basically saying, you know what, I don't think we influenced the election, then all the liberals are going to get angry at him and say, well, then whose fault is it? Because they have no evidence that Trump colluded with Russia, so now they have to point the finger at somebody else. They're like, oh, it's your fault, Zuckerberg. Just someone take the blame so we don't have to admit that Trump won fair and square, right? But if he turns around, if he answers the question by saying, well, you know what, we did influence the outcome of the election, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen then? It's very obvious. He will have to take the blame, and then God knows if Congress is going to come in and start fining them billions of dollars. So he is in a worm situation right now. At least we're getting some decent questions here so far. Let's go back a few seconds. Let's go back a few seconds here.
An important thing that as a discipline for what we're doing, I should be out there and being asked hard questions by journalists.
Knowing what you know now, do you believe Facebook impacted the results of the 2016 election?
Oh, that is hard. I think that it's really hard for me to have a full assessment of that. It's the reality is, well, there are so many different forces at play. Where the organic posting that people did, the get out the vote campaigns that we ran, the pages that that both candidates ran, the advertising that they did, I'm sure that all of that activity had some impact. It's hard for me to assess how much that stacked up compared to all of the campaign events and advertising that was done off of Facebook and all of the other efforts. And I think it's also hard to fully assess the impact of that organic activity, which we're actually quite proud of, right?
But also the bad actors
and
too.
the bad stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to fully assess.
Given the stakes here, why shouldn't Facebook be regulated?
I actually am not sure we shouldn't be regulated. I think in general technology is an increasingly important trend in the world, and I actually think the question is more, what is the right regulation rather than yes or no, should it be regulated?
What's the right regulation?
Well, there's some basic things, and I think that there's some big intellectual debates. On the basic side, there are things like ads transparency regulation that I would love to see. Right? If you look at how much regulation there is around advertising on TV and print, it's just not clear why there should be less on the internet, right? You should have the same level of transparency required. And I don't know if a bill is going to pass. I know a couple of senators are working really hard on this. But we're committed, and we've actually already started rolling out ad transparency tools that accomplish most of the things that are in all the bills that people are talking about today. Because we just think that this is an important thing. People should know who's buying the ads that they see on Facebook. And you should be able to go to any page and see all the ads that people are running to different audiences.
How has being a father changed your commitment to users, changed your commitment to their future, and what a kinder Facebook looks like?
Well, I think having kids changes a lot. And
like what?
Well, I used to think that the most important thing to me by far was, my having the greatest positive impact across the world that I can. And now, I really just care about building something that my girls are going to grow up and be proud of me for.
So you kind of just admitted that before you wanted to make the biggest positive impact across the world, and now you just care about your daughter. Not sure that's the smartest PR statement. But hey, if it's true and it's authentic, we can at least respect you for being more than just a mindless robot.
And that's what is kind of my guiding philosophy at this point is, when I come and work on a lot of hard things during the day, and I go home and just ask, will my girls be proud of what I did today?
Hey man, hey, good for him. So as you guys can see in the background, we're gonna let fake news CNN run in the background. I haven't watched CNN on TV in such a long time, but when you actually sit down and you watch it, it feels toxic. Like you can just feel the menacing evil just luring you into a fucking mind trap. It's pretty crazy. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I am back here now. Sorry for the coughing. I have been coming out of a bit of a cough, a cold the past few days. I think that's the end of the fake news CNN interview with Mark Zuckerberg. Yes, Russia caused my cough. Exactly. It's Putin's fault. Vladimir Putin launched a fucking cough bomb through the cyberwebs via Facebook, and now they're cracking down on us. So I'm just taking a look here at some of the the live chat coming in, reading your guys' stuff. I don't know, man. That was an interesting interview. I would say that Mark Zuckerberg did better than I thought, but a lot of the questions were much more softball than I thought they would be. Though I was anticipating that CNN would try to pull off some fake news shit. So it's a little on the fence right now. But yeah, wow, we had a lot of people tuning in today. Someone says, Jesus, shut up. Get out of the stream. Leave, loser. Or why don't you shut up? Who wants to hear your dumb comments? I mean, I'm so tired of these losers who don't have an audience coming in trying to get an audience for themselves by spamming the chat. Like such losers, man. God, you people are poison. Anyways, to the rest of you civilized, awesome dudes, again, thank you for tuning in. What the hell was that shit? What the hell was that shit? Absolutely bonkers. So again, Facebook is now, Mark Zuckerberg has become a victim of the same fake news, liberal fake news that he artificially promoted and probably still promotes today. It was a scandal that came out back in 2016. Facebook had to apologize for censoring conservative news and pushing liberal news on the trending tab. And now, after all these years of his liberal bias, that same liberal fake news that Zuckerberg loved to promote, that same liberal fake news is now pointing the finger at Zuckerberg and saying he is somehow responsible for why Donald Trump got elected. So, the same loser moron says, this guy's fake news. I mean, just at least be creative with your nonsense, man. At least be entertaining with your nonsense. So what did you guys think? I mean, what did you guys think about Mark Fake News Zuckerberg and his interview? I thought he did better than I expected, but they were kind of softball questions. Someone says impeach Trump. I mean, that's stupid. Anyways, real quick, guys, let me get you guys in on some real... You guys want to know some real fucking news? I'll show you guys some real fucking news. That, my friends, is real fucking news right there. Trump 2020 is real news. Or rather, Trump 2020 is what will happen if real news succeeds and is victorious in the coming years. Because we all know the fake news is going to try to prevent his election. Guys, Trump 2020 t-shirts, you know it. They're always available. The link is always below. One click away, get yourself one of these incredible Trump 2020 t-shirts. Just had to plug that real quick. Somebody in the comments says you are gay. Hey, if I was just a sad person, thank you for the $10 super chat there. Thank you very much. You know, if I was sitting at home alone and I didn't have an audience of people listening to me right now, I guess I would also be leaving butthurt, angry little chat comments, trying to get some attention on me to ameliorate my sad, pathetic life. So I get it, dude. I get it. In the background here, we have fake news, corporate advertising, prescription pills and all types of crap. Because, when you are a ill and sick media empire, fake news media empire, you attract ill and sick viewers. And thank you for the super chat as well. And that's how the cycle works. $305. Nah, the cough is going away right now, actually. Nah, I don't like the handlebars. I kind of like a little curl and a little wisp, but not too curly. You look like those crazy motherfuckers. Just somewhere in the middle where it's not pointing down, but it's not too... Somewhere right in the middle. I kind of like it. Yeah, I know the Russians hacked their own election. You just can't trust anything that comes out of the fake news, Now I have to go brush up my Nazi haircut. Yeah, I used to do beard oils, but I kind of lost interest in those. I even used to promote some some beard oil products, but then I lost interest in beard oils. I don't even use beard oils anymore. So I can't really recommend one. There is beard, I think it's Dollar Beard Club, but they might have changed their name recently. Yeah, watching the left cry after Trump won was truly great. Putin hacked my throat. Yes, he hacked my sinuses. Putin, fucking Putin, goddamn Putin. It's fucking Putin's fault, bro. He's just, Putin's everywhere, man. Putin's in your toilet. Putin's in your fucking the backseat of your cars. I mean, Putin is just hiding, man. It's funny. No, he's busy building Russia. He's busy building Russia. He's not worried about what's going on in America. Speaking of Russia, this is Donald Trump on Twitter earlier today. We should work with Russia. They'll help us defeat ISIS, North Korea. There it is, fake news, Demon Anderson Cooper. I mean, yeah, sure. You know, it's so weird. You know, somebody in the comments writes, Putin is a genius. Isn't it a weird disconnect? I remember, like, 5-6 years ago, Putin was a meme. Like, even before Trump ran, 5-6 years ago, Putin was a meme. Okay, the meme of Putin without his shirt, you know, riding on the back of a bear through the jungle, like, that was a meme that everybody loved and shared, and people were like, yeah, Putin's fucking awesome. Yeah, look how cool that is. Again, excuse me for the psychotic cough. It's on its way out right now. Putin was cool 5 or 6 years ago. Okay? But now he's the devil. Really, the reason that he's the devil is because he got too cool. You know, you can't have strong masculine figures to look up to. The liberal elite do not want the lower classes to rise up to empowerment, having a strong male, masculine figure to look up to. The liberal elite wants you looking up to effeminate Hollywood actors as your idols. So you grow up to be effeminate little boys. Okay, that's what they want. So, you know, they can't have Putin. They can't have Putin as an idol. No. Turn the frickin' frogs gay. Best shit ever, bro. You look like Jared Leto if he wasn't a soy boy. If he wasn't a soy boy. So that means that I'm not a soy boy? Oh, okay. Thanks. Oh, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Someone says Jared Leto is hot. I think I got laid once because some chick thought I looked like Jared Leto. So thank you, Jared. Sorry, my hat fell. Yeah, I noticed that in the very middle of my stream, it was like at 460, and then it dropped to like 350. Like, it just dropped by 100 viewers in half a second. And I think the reason was because my connection went bad. in that very moment. I can see it right there at the top that the connection went bad. And when that happens, people lose their link and people click off, and maybe that, or I got censored. I don't know, you know. Oh man, this is what we're dealing with here, bitches. Turn the freaking frogs gay. Well, the earth is flat. No, this is live. Trump defends his congrats to Putin. Oh, what are we gonna do? The president is an unapologetic brute who never caves into pressure. How are we gonna control and destroy America with Trump in office? Dude, they're so angry. They're just so like, what are we gonna do, man? They're so pissed off. Sorry, man. Most of your fucking ads, most of your commercial breaks are for drugs. Most of your viewers are mentally ill and sick. I mean, just sorry, man. What is this guy going crazy about? What is this?
Holy thoughts. Why doesn't he
Is this guy trying to be Alex Jones now? Hey, it worked for Alex Jones. Now we gotta adopt the Alex Jones model.
And he doesn't raise any of that with him. Meanwhile, Putin is attacking our allies in Great Britain using chemical weapons on the British mainland. And our president says nothing.
Right, but Paul,
Bad enough that he sucks up, but he won't stand up.
Let's cut
Why?
to the chase
He
here.
attacks the Pope, for God's sake, Steve. Why the hell won't he
Listen,
attack Putin?
as a loyal
Oh, man.
I'm a faithful Catholic. I don't like him attacking the Holy Father. Why doesn't he turn his guns on the chase?
Oh my God, I'm Alex Jones now. Look at me getting angry in front of the camera. We used to call it crazy when Alex Jones went crazy, but now we're doing it too because it's the only way to keep viewers' attention because he pioneered.
Let's cut to chase here. Why isn't he? Are you saying, as John Brennan said, by the way, another disgraced, in my opinion, former security figure.
Everybody criticize.
Bunch of crazy fucking maniacs, bro. Bunch of crazy maniacs. Well, somebody says, why you sick if veganism's supposed to be super healthy? Well, first of all, I never really made a health argument for veganism. That was never it. My primary argument for veganism was more about logical consistency. But putting that aside, if you want to talk about correlations between my diet and my health, I actually got sick a few days after I had my bad week where I recently slipped up and started eating animal products again. So, yeah, we just got disconnected actually, so. Just make sure you guys are still there because we just got disconnected. Alright, I'm going to wait for some chat to pop up. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still see me? Are we still here? I'm just going to wait for a couple new chats, a couple new comments in the chat. Make sure you guys can still see me or hear me. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Alright, let me see something here. Double check that. I think we're back. Okay, yeah, I think we're back. Huh. Alright. I think we're back. Anyways, basically what I was saying was, okay, look, if I'm a soy boy, but then what about you guys? You guys need to eat meat all day, every day. Otherwise, your masculinity apparently just disintegrates into the wind. Like, that's some frail, fleeting masculinity. Like, I don't know, to me, masculinity isn't so dependent on whether or not you eat meat. It's not just going to disintegrate if you don't get your daily dose of animal flesh. It just seems like a weird, fleeting thing. So, again, I'm not seeing if there's comments. It says that I'm still live, but you never know. You know, you can't trust, you know, whether or not this thing is even still functioning. So, thank you guys again for tuning in. I just want to make sure that we are here and we are good. Leave some comments in the chat just to confirm, because it's looking a little sketchy right now, and I don't want to. Someone says, buy yourself a nice, juicy, meatless meat vegan burger. Yeah. I think our chat is back, so I can see your chat now again, guys. Huh. Yeah, who knows? They might be censoring the live stream. You know, they got to play their games. So we don't even know at this point. But we almost had like a hiccup a moment ago with the live stream. So, but anyways, thank you guys again for tuning in. Mark Zuckerberg, man, this is what we're dealing with here. And, you know, just stop trying to steal the election from Trump. He won it fair and square. If you guys stop the shenanigans, we'll stop pointing out your shenanigans. Trump won fair and square, and that's it. So, thank you guys all for tuning in. Once again, don't forget, I have to plug it because I fucking have to. It's time. It's here. It's Trump 2020. Finally, someone with balls. It was an unprecedented election year. We saw things we've never seen before. We finally got someone with balls in office, and it's been revolutionary. And man, if it happens again in 2020, it'll be more epic meltdowns from the liberals. Trump 2020 t-shirts, you know where to get them. The link is right there below. It's one click away. Get one for yourself right now. You're going to love wearing one of these. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Talk to you guys soon. Laters.